something that I did not hold myself accountable to this year was finding a therapist.
Hey!
Happy New Year!
새해 복 많이 받으세요.
Sorry, come again?
새해 복 많이 받으세요.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. I'm working on improving my Korean. I don't know if you guys saw on TikTok about this like translator thing that you pay for. It's like $4.99 a month and you translate like from Netflix shows, and this guy is like, oh yeah, you can like learn a language like completely
like
off
that's
of
his
Netflix.
Job?
No, I think he knows a lot of languages. I think he's like
There's a word for that.
there is. What
Like
is
just
that?
the brain is made differently. Like talking about the guy that knows how to speak like over 100 languages.
I don't know if it's 100. I think I DM'd you one of his videos on TikTok. Did you not watch it?
I definitely watched it because I don't have a number notification.
Oh, okay. Unless you just
But-
opened it.
Yeah, unless I
Watch
just
it.
opened it.
Wow. Okay, well, happy Year of the Rabbit.
Yes, it is my sister's year.
Ooh, okay. Wait, okay, side note. I was at a Chinese restaurant on Christmas Day, as you do. And you know how they have all the zodiacs on like the menu thingies, on like the paper menu thingy?
I didn't know that.
Placemats at Chinese restaurants?
I did not know that.
Oh, okay, yes. And so I was looking at mine, the Year of the Rat, and I was laughing because it said most compatible with monkeys, that's my mom, and dragons, that's my sister, least compatible with horses, which is my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what? Horses and what?
It was just horses. It just said horses.
Really?
Yeah, and I was laughing. I was like, oh my gosh, what are the odds?
Wait, a dragon and so what was
My mom is my monkey. And my monkey.
She's your monkey.
She's my
Your
monkey.
main monkey.
She's my main monkey.
My main monkey. Do you remember the ox?
No, I didn't look. Oh, okay. Generally speaking, oxen can accommodate with people of rat, snake, and rooster zodiacs.
Ooh, okay, my mom is a snake.
Oh, okay, nice. And
Wait,
it says,
one of them is a dragon and one of them is a snake. I think my mom is a snake.
Okay.
Okay.
And one of them is a dragon?
Why?
Because it says you should
Oh my
avoid
God.
those of tiger, dragon, horse, and sheep.
My mom is a snake and my dad is a dragon. That is too funny.
That is so funny.
Wait, is there a
dude.
rabbit on there?
No,
Did you say rabbit?
No,
okay.
no, there's
irrelevant.
no. Yeah. So, it explains a lot, I guess.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but also it's just kind of like
kind of funny.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the rabbit.
Yeah. I don't think I've been like excited for a year in a really long time.
Okay.
And why that is, we'll get into a little bit later. But before we get into it, how you been?
Yes, so we just came back from, or not just, but like a week ago actually, right? From our Big Bear trip, which maybe I was just like happy or something. Like I've never felt that sore after boarding. Like never in my life.
Well, you were shredding.
No, but I really wasn't. Like, do you understand now? Like I do feel that maybe the greens are a little too easy, but I'm not quite a blue. I get scared, like...
Right.
Yeah, I get scared, but also I didn't go boxing for a week post the snowboarding trip because I was so sore.
Oh, yeah.
So actually today was my first day back.
Oh, nice.
And when I was doing squats, my right butt was hurting. And so
Only
it's definitely
right?
still... it just hurt. I kept falling on because
your
I'm a goofy.
right side.
Yeah, so I kept falling on my right butt cheek.
Okay.
But yeah, it was obviously it doesn't hurt as much, but like it's still very much internally bruised. Yeah. And I was doing like squat jumps and like I was like every time I would jump up and like impact
like down.
Yeah,
yes.
it would hurt a little bit. Actually a couple days after that, like when I started to recover, I went boarding again. So we went to Big Bear, but then the second time I went to Mountain High.
Oh, you did?
I went to Mountain High and I was like kind of like shitting on the snow like in Big Bear. Well, I was concerned because on the drive it was so sunny.
It was,
right?
yeah. It was like 40 something degrees. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah. When we
I
went
thought
to
it was
Big Bear.
wasn't it 50?
Or was it 50?
I think it reached 50.
Yeah, it was really hot.
Like we were all boarding without jackets, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, Christmas Day was 80 degrees, right? It was like 85. It was 85.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, there's no snow. So then I was like you could see just the ice block, right? Because they like probably made the snow because it like wasn't snowing. Sure. So then I was like, oh my God, I was really excited for Mountain High, but there was even less snow at Mountain High. The entire drive, it was just so sunny.
Yeah.
Like just brown and green. There was no snow.
Oh gosh.
Like on the lift, I was watching skiers like run into brown and green.
Oh no.
Because there was just like no snow. Then 2023, I would like to have my own board.
Okay,
that is
nice.
like a goal, but not really a goal, you know?
Yeah.
Like that is what I would like, you know, from my parents.
Okay, nice.
Letting you know now.
I like that. I love that. Yeah. Because, I watched you going down, doing the jumps, and I was like, Julie, you were being
jump.
Modest.
No, it was not a jump. Did you watch it's literally like, maybe we would, actually, I'm too embarrassed to insert the clip. If this is the hill, it goes like,
Julie, it was not a jump. Okay, but like when I went up that as well, I know I'm only getting half an inch off of the ground, but like it feels way bigger than that. Like, hey, you did it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And I basically didn't see you that day. I was just with the boys. It was me and 3 boys, Luke, Bicho, and Dijong. And so we did a bunch of like the blues. Didn't know Bicho was so good.
He's so good.
Like
He's so
actually
good.
Fearless. Like I was like, I've never met anyone who goes down the half pipe. Like he was doing the half pipe. He wiped out, but he was still did it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's all about the confidence.
Oh gosh. And so it was very fun.
I would like to be at that level.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
That's my goal.
Okay.
For 2023.
Okay. You know he's been boarding since 11.
Yes.
And he used to go every single weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. So
so maybe not. Okay, maybe baby steps.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to invest in a maybe icon pass.
Okay. Yeah.
Go more consistently.
Me too.
You know, that's the only way you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Unless I go to one of those like top golf-ish type of places, but for skiing where you like practice on the.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But then even that, I feel like it's different.
Yeah.
So Big Bear was super fun, and then other than that, I have been doing such a great job at resting. I feel like, right, we had talked about like I think last episode how I had done something every single day, and then realized I was so burnt out and then didn't do anything about it. And I think it was because I was like always telling myself like, oh, like I'm an extrovert, or like honestly there's just too many people that I need to like meet up with and like hang out with and like build relationships with. And so I just never gave myself the rest. But then now I'm realizing like I have been so much more present these days because I'm actually giving myself the rest.
Yes, I love that.
You know, so
I love that.
Yeah, so I've been feeling good. I feel like this end of year, like, okay, to be completely honest, guys, we have been wanting to do this goals episode for at least a couple months now, and I don't know if Julie wanted to push it off as well, but like I definitely was not ready to have this conversation. But I feel like I'm finally like in a state of mind where I'm like, I can sit down, I can write down some goals. Like I think it's less intimidating right now, and it just kind of feels like calm.
That's good.
Yeah, I think I've just been like very excited for the new year.
Yeah, I don't know if I was avoiding it or wanting to push it off, but I do affiliate it to more of like a negative feeling of I think I'm so content, which I would also never use the word content with like my personality or to describe how I am. But you know when you just don't think about something so you don't know?
Yeah.
I think that's where I was kind of sitting with in terms of goals.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
I didn't really feel the need to set goals.
Yeah.
Like I'm usually just goal oriented, so like when something comes my way, then sure I'll set the goal and try to achieve the goal. But it wasn't like, oh, going into 2023, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You know, I want it to be more. Actually, I don't know what I want it to be because it was just more like not even out of sight, out of mind. It was just like I was not thinking, did not feel the need to set goals.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But also maybe it's because I could turn everything into a goal, and that's why it's hard for me to like simplify it into like a short list.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I truly think with anything, right? Like going boxing, like, okay, let's try to go out like between 15 to 20 times a month. With, you know, church, let's try to never ever be late, like always try to make it 5 minutes. But yeah, I feel like I could genuinely turn everything into a goal.
Right.
So like maybe I haven't identified what is prioritized.
Yeah.
What should be prioritized.
Yeah, that makes sense. Huh. Actually, one interesting point I want to bring up, just talking about like setting those goals. I was listening to the Huberman Lab podcast. This one is specifically called The Science of Setting and Achieving Goals. And he was saying that kind of the optimal level of success versus failure rate when setting these goals is you should be failing about 15% of the time. And this is because, right, we talked about how like when you listen to new music, it improves your neuroplasticity. So your brain is stretching. And so same thing with failure. If you're so used to just like completing the goal 100% of the time, like success rate, like your body kind of gets used to that. And so they said about 15% of the time.
For sure. I mean, that's why, like, for example, just a very small example, I used to definitely burn more calories when I first started boxing, but now my muscles are used to it and you know what your limits are. So, you got to push yourself harder to reach the optimal, that's why sometimes I purposely don't go for a consecutive couple of days, because then you go back and you can like feel like what was rested, and like you could feel like, so today, or actually yesterday was my first day back, but it was like to me like kind of an easier coach, but you wake up feeling like, oh yeah, the arm like definitely feels a bit more tense and tight.
Interesting.
So I purposely leave distance sometimes.
I think for me too, I've like gotten used to my fitness routine, so it's like it's not easy, but it's kind of easy, and so I think like that's why I've been like pushing myself to just like put on more weight. But
I guess like to talk about goals, I definitely haven't I haven't reached many of my goals.
Okay.
But I also acknowledge that I have met a lot of my goals. And to take us back all the way from when we like first started this podcast, something I'm proud of. I genuinely or generally feel like I set a mantra for the year. I remember in 2020, I wanted to strengthen friendships, not so much like care to make new friendships, but strengthen the ones that I have. In 2021, I think I wanted to focus on empathy. Which for both, like I think the strengthen the friendships I already have. I think that was a couple of years in progress. Like it was a progress in the making. Right. Empathy part, I think I am more empathetic than I think I am.
Okay.
Like meaning I'm still more logical and realistic than empathetic.
Okay. I don't think that those are mutually exclusive, but okay.
Well, I think I'm not empathetic because I tend to just get to the answer, right?
Oh, okay.
However, they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Therefore, like I'm high in both. I'm high in both.
Exactly.
And so, that too, I think has been a very slow progression.
Yeah.
And then in 2022, I was just re-listening to our episode and I was talking about, or the conclusion was, do things that make me happy. And when I listened to that, I think right away I was like, yep, definitely did not succeed in that.
Right.
But then I traced it, or just I just reeled it back, and I was like, actually I did.
Okay.
And we can get into that a bit later. Should I just start off with my...
what are your goals for 2023?
For 2023, my mantra is health is wealth.
Okay. Health is number one. God is
number one.
God
is number one, because he can take away my health at any time. But from the wise words of Daniel Jung, health is wealth. Health is number one.
Health is number one. You're number one.
No, God, you're number one. But actually, it's that's the first half of my mantra. It's health is wealth, period. But happiness is wealth. Okay, Dr. Seuss. Health is wealth, period. Happiness is health. Therefore, health... Wait, what?
What? A equals B, B equals C. So A
health is C? Wealth. But happiness is also health.
So happiness
is wealth. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Health is wealth. And happiness is health. So happiness is wealth.
Yes.
So it's just a continuation of last year's mantra, essentially.
Okay.
Do things that make me happy.
I like that.
Because life is too short.
Yeah. You've been thinking about death?
Not death, but not like my death. But I do feel like a lot of people have been like passing away.
Oh gosh.
Just in general. Or it's more so like, I think I'm still very young and I know that, but I think I was just so fixated on wanting a stable life that like, right, like you have to like get a footing into your career, right? Like come back home and adjust to like, for me, like living back in California and like finding those connections and those communities.
Right.
Like that was what I was really probably focused on.
Right.
But now it's just more like, well, you know what, life is too short, so let's just do it. Right?
Yeah.
I know there are some people out there that are like, you know, sleep when you die. I'm not really like that.
I'm not like that.
Yeah, I'm not really like that. Well, but I feel like you still go hard. You go hard, but you also get your sleep. But I feel like those people, they sacrifice their sleep to go out.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, I know for sure. I don't sacrifice. I will just sleep in until I'll just be in bed till 2 p.m.
Yes.
Know? Yeah.
But yeah, life is just, how can I say this in a less cliche way? Just life feels too short.
Interesting.
I do not like, the maximalist within me wants to do everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
My selfishness does not want to miss out on that experience.
Yes. Yes.
So I want to do everything.
Okay, I like that.
That is my mentality.
Okay, so with the first portion, health is wealth.
Yes.
How are you going to achieve this? What does this mean to you? What are the because I know that the way that you set and achieve your goals is very systematic. So how are you doing
very
this?
Much is, yes. So I'm implementing the MMM. Mm-hmm. Yes, the MM. Mm-hmm. Just until this morning, it was M&M, which I thought was cuter, but there is an additional M.
Okay.
And my SMART goal for that, or actually before I even get into the SMART goals, it's the M&M and M. The MMM stands for more massages.
Yes.
And more meditation.
Okay.
And mobility exercises.
I like
mobility stretches.
Yes.
Right? So these are all things let's just start from the first one. Massages, right? I feel like typically I'll go get a massage when I am in pain. Like it's not a consistent thing.
Right.
And I think with just the activities that I tend to enjoy, which most recently have been like flag football and even boxing.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you're boxing, you're actually like, you're kind of bent and your arms are forward like this, right? Or they're by your chin and your cheeks.
Yeah.
So you are leaning kind of forward. But you know, naturally as we are typing, when we're on our phone, we are hunched forward. Exactly. So I get a huge knot, especially on my right shoulder.
Is it like where your trap is, or is it like your shoulder?
It's all of it actually.
Okay. Yeah. I feel that.
And so when I'm like really tired, it'll start hurting. Like when I yawn, like it's you know, it's all tied together, so it'll start hurting, and that's when I'll get a massage. But we need to be more preventative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I think I need to go monthly. And then let me go to mobility first, just because I brought up football.
Right.
I think the soreness that I felt post football, thankfully I wasn't like severely injured or anything, but my thumbs were very sore for the longest time. I think
your thumbs,
because I was D-line, right? So when you push off of someone, or even when you're trying to grab the flag, your just hand ends up like jamming into the person's like hip or thigh.
Oh,
right?
Nice.
When you see the flag, you're not gonna like run really fast and then stop right in front of you. You kind of run into the person. And so my thumbs were very sore for a couple weeks.
Okay.
And this thumb especially, like I think today was the second time I've been able to crack it.
Oh, owie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it just made me realize just the importance of every single phalange and bone in your body.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so more so just like hip flexibility,
ankles,
neck,
knees,
ankles. That's a big one. Your ankles, like all of it is just so important. Yeah, mobility stretches. I need to implement them more in my daily routine.
Okay, I like that. Yeah,
health is wealth. Happiness is health.
Yes.
Therefore, happiness is wealth.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So
I completely agree.
Yes.
On the mobility side of things. Because I'm a gym girl. I accepted that about myself. But the thing is like, okay, I'm like working on building all this muscle, but why does that matter if like my joints can't handle it, you know? And so like, yeah, I think Joyce and I, like when we go to the gym, we make an active effort to stretch and like do our mobility exercises, especially with the hip flexors, with the hips and like knees. And dude, okay, wait, I almost started crying because let me know why we started doing splits at the gym. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Did you know I can still do my splits?
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? I can do my right and my left.
That is very impressive.
Thank you.
I feel like I always struggled with my left a little bit.
Oh, my left is so much better.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
Thank you. But
yes, we need to.
Could you do the middle?
No.
Okay, me neither.
Well, at my peak, you like I could stretch forward, and you know when you lean on the inner part, but it wouldn't be touching the ground, right? Like it lifts up like ever so slightly. At my peak, which was like sophomore year of high school. It's been a very long time. But I haven't like this is I don't want to say it because then I feel like I need to hold myself accountable, but like Pilates, I know you've kind of started Pilates, right? But yeah, that is actually, if you do it correctly and have a great like instructor, like I feel like it is such a good overall like life, because you know yoga, I feel yoga isn't intense enough for me, but Pilates I feel like is.
Yes, right? Yes.
You can be your muscles will be quaking, like, because you're like slowly like using your core to like, when your like arms are stretching forward, that's all core, right? So, like maybe that's something I'll explore. But as Talanoa Hufunga said, the best type of ability is availability.
What does that mean?
The best type of massages? Ability. No, I just think like, oh, sorry, let me add more context to that. Just when you're so passionate about doing something, just imagine not being able to do it because you were not able. That's why I'm realizing this year from 2022, something I want to take into 2023 is like, that's why you got to be happy and do the things that you want to do. But in order to do the things that you want to do, you have to make sure that you're healthy, or else you're not going to be able to do the things that make you happy. Right. So that type of ability is availability.
Okay. And then lastly, you said meditation?
Yes. So something that I did not hold myself accountable to this year was finding a therapist. I came really close. I came really close, and there were just too many obstacles, right? So like my insurance, like now everything is like a robot chat system, and so they actually gave me a list of therapists. But you know, I feel like we're a very pro therapy generation, and so there aren't too many therapists, like good therapists that have availability, right? And so they gave me a list, and they were all supposed to be in network. Okay, tell me why they were all not in network. So then I was like,
what is the point of the list?
Yeah. So it would have, I don't know, maybe like a couple hundred per session. But I wanted to start therapy as like a long-term ongoing thing, right? I mean, I guess you got to graduate, but I wanted to do like, I saw myself doing it for at least half a year type of thing. Yeah. So I was not about to pay like $200-300 a week for that. That is insane. Right? Yeah. So then I feel like that was maybe the biggest obstacle, and then I just kind of never followed up. So starting off with meditation, and then hopefully like having that transition, not into, but maybe adding therapy to that, I feel is going to be very necessary for me in the new year, because I've mentioned this a couple times the past couple episodes, but a new part of me that I've discovered in 2022 at least was anxiety. Right. And it's kind of funny because I feel like another goal in like 2021 and 2022 was to become more stress tolerant. Right. I've kind of talked about that. But if you don't know, I feel like I have a very low tolerance for stress. So I wanted to be better at that. But for some reason, I feel I have regressed, and like I'm like,
which is fine.
Yeah. But I'm noticing I have like physical reactions to stress, right? Yes. Like I think the being flushed, turning red has like heightened for some reason.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever like seen you in those states. Yeah. Ever in my life.
I think it comes, but you have like this here. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Like it like will come out at work, which is probably a problem, right? Because I really can't hide it. Like when something's not going right. And it obviously comes out a lot like in front of family. Except because my parents are so aware, they don't like egg on to like when they see me super flustered. Yeah. But yeah, it has become, I turn like pretty red, and I like will start emitting heat. Yeah. Like I can be a human heater. Like I get so hot. I need to find ways to like either like reset. Like I feel like I've trained my body to like be okay with doing that. So I need to like find ways to
like combat it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So that like I feel maybe a starting point to that could be meditation.
I like that. Yeah.
And therapy. Because I don't want to be.
Yeah. I think we all have things that like we can work on, and especially knowing that you are not very stress tolerant, I think that could be a way to build the tolerance levels. Yeah. Okay, nice. The I like that. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess like kind of along those same lines. Like,
what about you?
So my approach to this was by listening to the Huberman Lab, because I think hearing the science behind a lot of things and like the explanation behind things always helps me to kind of incorporate into my life a bit more. And so specifically with goals, like he was saying that like 1 to 3 goals is like usually a good number, because like if they're big goals, then you want it to be, so if you put them on a scale, like easy, moderately difficult, and then impossible, he said that when things are easy, you're less likely to do it. When things are impossible, you're less likely to do it.
Yes.
But when things are like just out of your range, but you know it's possible, he said that is like the most motivating like goal level. And so I was like, okay, keeping those two things in mind is, okay, it needs to be moderately difficult, and there need to be 1 to 3. I was like, okay, I think firstly, like one thing that I've been, I don't want to say struggling with, but like definitely like food has always been like a thing, right? In my life, I've had like my fair share of like food issues and all of that. And I actually think that I've really improved this past year on like my relationship with food, and then also with the gym. Like I've finally like found like balance and enjoyment. But then I also think like I am ready to challenge my food stuff, right? Because I think as of right now, I've been like, okay, like intuitive eating, but it's like very loose. Like what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to be more specific, right? You had said SMART goals before.
Yes, which SMART, right, stands for specific, measurable, actions, realistic, timely.
Time. Yep.
Yeah, he said those all in like different tenses, and you can figure it out.
Yeah. And so like, I want to get more specific.
Yeah,
and so
I'm so excited to hear.
Yeah, so I think I want to be cooking a bit more. I've been like saving a lot of like cooking videos on TikTok. And so I'm going to say 7 meals a week need to be at home.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's like keeping in mind, like I wake up too late for breakfast.
Okay. I was gonna say,
I'm not like I usually do 2 meals a day. I don't really like to give them like titles. It's just kind of like
breakfast. You like breakfast food?
I love breakfast food.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. And so I'll always do like eggs in the morning. But I think like I'm good. I'm like relatively okay with like protein levels. But when it comes to vegetables, I'm very bad.
Okay.
I'm very bad about eating my vegetables. Like my meals usually consist of protein and like rice maybe.
Okay.
And so I think I want, of all those 7 meals, half of the meal has to be vegetables. And I know people will do like 2/3 vegetables, but I want half of my plate to be some sort of vegetable. Whether that be a salad or like this past week. Yeah, I like went and bought like the frozen Trader Joe's like vegetables.
Yeah. Also I think the colored cauliflower is really good.
Oh, really? Okay, I really like the colored carrots.
Oh, okay.
They've been bombed.
Yeah.
Like they're already seasoned. And so also like keeping in mind that I think like when there are obstacles to preparing food, I will not do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
You know exactly what it is.
You know a lot of people, I know what you mean.
And so like if that means like me having to food prep every week, then like so be it. But I also think, so another thing I learned about setting goals is like there needs to be some sort of check-in, right? And like making sure that you're kind of like adjusting as you go. And he said that maybe a good cadence could be weekly, right? And so I started thinking about my weeks, right? And I'm like, I very much despise coming back from church after socializing. I'm exhausted. I just want to chill. Coming back and having to like meal prep, right? Like that sounds exhausting to me. So I was like, you know what? I have to do it Sunday morning, because
meal prep on Sunday morning?
Either Sunday morning or like at least do the check of, okay, how do we do on food this week? You know, on Sunday mornings, because I think Mondays are too late. Like I'll kind of like, if I do it on Mondays, I'll just kind of waste the rest of the week in terms of checking in on my goals and like adjusting. And then, I won't do it when I come back on Sundays. And then, so Sunday mornings.
That's good awareness.
Yeah.
Of like knowing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like if you know like Sundays are, I feel like that's a lot of people. You come back from church or whatever afternoon activity, and Sundays are like genuinely meant to relax. So
I always take a nap.
Yeah.
I think I always take a nap on Sundays.
Okay.
So Sunday mornings is going to be the thing.
Okay. More than a year of just very, very consistent gym going.
Yeah. I'm a gym girly.
Yeah, you're a gym. You are a literal gym rat. You are a gym rat.
Wait, I know people who go to the gym 9 to 10 times a week. And I went, what do you mean? And then they went, oh, because sometimes I'll go twice a day. And I was like,
no, but like you're a Chinese zodiac, you're a
oh my
rat.
gosh, oh my gosh,
I meant like a literal, you are a gym rat.
I am a gym rat. If you guys want my gym playlist, let me know.
I heard it.
Oh, you did, right? Yeah, it's real aggressive. I started playing it at our Christmas party, and everyone's like, Hannah, I'm stressed.
I know I said I wanted to stretch my brain, but this seems like not an achievable goal. You know, we gotta ease into it.
Yes.
That's really good. Actually, like food was also, it's on my mind. It's not as much of a goal for me as it is for you in 2023. But, you know, I never, or just because like I don't want to, like I never want to be like looking at the nutrition label to like count like, oh my god, this amount of sodium and calories, like, because right, once again, health is wealth. Right. Happiness is what is it? What did I say? Happiness is health. Yeah. So if I want to eat what's going to make me happy in the moment, I want to do that. However, I do want to do so a bit more consciously.
Yes.
Right. So conscious consumption and spending. That was like another one.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Like, you know, for me, like I'm not going to cook. I think I've just accepted it.
Yeah.
You know? So, but starting small, like I actually bought a pack of those broccolis and like the maybe orange chicken from Trader Joe's.
Yum.
Maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, and it's still in the freezer. So I hope to get that cooked up sometime soon.
Use that.
Yeah.
Use that shit.
But they're in the freezer, so will it expire?
Yeah, I think you're fine, but it needs a cleaning once in a while.
It does. So that's definitely something I've been like, oh, I guess this is what I want to say. I feel like people think I'm more healthier than I actually am, but I feel like I snack a lot. Okay. So I feel fake healthy sometimes.
Do you feel the need to appear healthy and live up to the image that you think people have of you health-wise?
That's it. That's a great question because I don't care. I actually, who cares if they think I'm healthier than I actually am? But I think I feel bad. Like, wow, I woke up and the first thing I had was a Pringle, which is very true sometimes. Or I don't really like, I don't think I'm a big breakfast person.
Yeah.
Because I also mainly have 2 meals a day. I love my coffee. But I'm starting to feel really bad for my stomach, and I'm getting concerned for like me when I'm like 50, 60 years old, right? Like my stomach, the acidity from just having coffee, and you know, I don't take milk or cream with my coffee. Right. So I wonder when that'll start changing, when my stomach will no longer be able to handle that. Right. I don't want to like turn my stomach upside down by just having like black coffee.
Did you say you wanted to switch to matcha, right?
Did I?
Yeah, you said that to me.
Oh, I take that back. Did I really say that?
Yeah.
I really don't like matcha. And I really don't like... Today I realized I'm actually a picky eater. Today I realized. Today.
Okay, so back to the health.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Specifically your conscious consumption.
Yeah, so just, you know, making sure, like, I was really thinking about what I ate yesterday. Like, this is a good example, okay? I was thinking about what I ate yesterday. So yesterday morning, I was a little upset with my parents, so I didn't want to eat breakfast, right? Because when you're home, though, like, my mom's always like, come down and eat breakfast, but like, I didn't want to eat breakfast. So I had a cup of coffee, and that kind of kept me like satiated for a while. Yeah. And then I went to the mall for like an hour. Oh, gosh. And after the mall, I was like,
hangry.
Yeah, I was hungry. Yeah. You see, I wasn't hangry, but I felt very like shaky. Like I was like, I needed food because at this point it was 1 o'clock. Right. So I didn't have, and then my dad like kind of pissed me off again around noon. So I didn't want to stay for lunch. And so I left before lunch. So I didn't have breakfast and I didn't have lunch. And so by like 1:30, I was like wrapping up at Urban and I was just kind of like, okay, we'll have to drive back to the west side and I feel like I need to consume something. Yeah. So then that's when I went to Wetzel Pretzel. And so my first meal was pretzel bites. Yeah. Right? Pretzel bits with a lemonade.
Yummy.
And then I ate so much of that. And this was like, I was eating like maybe still munching on this at like 2 o'clock. Okay. And then maybe like I had maybe a third of it at 2. And then at like 4 or 5, I had the other third of it. And then I had a boxing class and then I had a protein shake. But I was like a little, like before the class, I was too full to eat anything. Right. And then afterwards I had the protein shake and then it was like a little too late. So I didn't have a dinner either. So that's how my day went yesterday. And then I was like kind of hungry before bed. So I had the entire pack of haichus that you brought from Hawaii as my dinner. That's maybe like 15 pieces of haichu. I was embarrassed at myself in bed. I was like looking at the wrapper like, wow. You know?
Wow.
So that's what I mean by maybe like conscious consumption, meaning like once, like also planning out the hours that I eat to make sure I am not making, not that that was a mistake on my end, but you know, like keeping myself accountable for my health.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I don't eat like that every day.
That
like
was,
that, I know, that was kind of intense.
That was a really extreme example.
But it happens to be yesterday, so that's all I could think of.
Yeah, top of mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then also like, right, 2 days, like I just ate really bad this past week. Maybe that's why it's more like
more
at the forefront.
Yeah, and also I think like a part of this and like me saying like, oh, I need to eat more vegetables and whatnot is because I ate bad this week. Like it was really bad. It was really bad.
It's really hard when you are living like not like, I mean, do you share food with your roommates?
Yeah.
Groceries?
Yeah. I think because we share groceries, like when Joyce, and it's always Joyce who cooks almost 80% of the time. Like she'll like have extra and she'll be like, you can eat this. And so like, I think
that's like Gloria.
Oh yeah. And so like me wanting to like maybe return the favor and like, you know, me make a little extra for them. So
I feel like my schedule is just way too like I'm not a spontaneous, but it's just, I never know like dinner plans or leftovers from work. And so I could not see myself splitting groceries because I'll probably never end up using my third of the groceries.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Food.
Okay. Yeah. So food. That's my big one.
Okay.
And I guess kind of along those same lines of like conscious consumption, I am going to admit that I'm addicted to my phone. I am like very addicted to my phone. I think I've like realized that I don't think I like to be alone with my thoughts, and so automatically like I just end up going like on the social apps, and like I know that like with TikTok, a big reason why I like just eat that shit up is because I'm like always learning something new. But I think that the rate at which I'm consuming information is frying my brain. I like really don't think I can like stay present anymore, even like during our like dinners and like Christmas parties and stuff. I've noticed that I never used to be on my phone. I'm on my phone sometimes now, and I know it's not like a ton, but like I'm like, why am I sitting at the dinner table like scrolling? And so like I need to do,
it's habitual, you know,
like also like, you know how they say like when you put your pinky underneath your phone it like causes like a
nerve damage.
I feel it. I literally feel it going all the way up my arm, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be off my phone. And also my phone is heavier now. And so I think like all of this to say, I think the other big goal for this year is staying present and doing a dopamine reset, right? And I want to be very conscious about how I am balancing and maintaining my levels of dopamine, because phone addiction, that's fucking me up, like first and foremost. And so I think the achievable goal there is 4 hours maximum, because right now do you have time
like limit?
My screen time?
Not even screen time, like
the one that I ignore every day on every single app that I use. It says
like time limit
reached, and I'm like, ignore when, for how long, all day, indefinitely.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I ignore it every day. It's become so habitual. And so I think like being more conscious about like what I'm consuming, how I'm consuming, and the time that I'm spending. So 4 hours a day. I don't care what it's on, and music will not count because like, I mean, I could listen to music on my laptop, so maybe I'll start doing that.
But I don't, do you ever feel like sometimes I just drive and like no music, nothing?
I need that. I do rarely, but then there are also the other times where I will be listening to a podcast on a drive, get bored, switch to Instagram, get bored, switch to TikTok on my drive.
Wow.
So rarely. It's really bad. And so yes, 4 hours a day, that's gonna be the limit. That's gonna help in the dopamine reset. And then also with the staying present, we talked about this last episode, DNDAs. Do not do anything days. This is directly from you, Julie. I think you're really good about obviously like setting time apart for yourself, because you know that's how you reset, right? Like you're more on the introverted side, even though you're pretty outgoing.
But that's the thing, like I feel like I'm able to be outgoing when I choose to because I have those days, right?
Yes. And so I think like this entire like year and whatnot, like work and my social life, it's all demanded me to like go out a lot. And it's like also like I don't want to miss out on a night out, and so I will be going out. But I think because, you know, I am an extrovert and I'm like, oh, I get energy from going out, I will go out past my limits, because everyone does have those limits. And then right, I never knew like how to rest, because even when I don't go out, I am a wreck. I literally can't spend time with myself. I can't be alone with my thoughts. And so I think all of this is just kind of to say, like, I want to like kind of practice like maybe a quieter like life, you know, quieter like mind state. And so maybe that does include like meditation like you. Because like as of right now, everything's going like 20,000 miles per hour. I'm focused on like everything all at once, and so
everything everywhere all at once,
which I still haven't watched.
Oh wow.
You
should watch it.
I think I should. People told me I would like it.
I think you would. Like I know we talked about it in one of my check-ins, because I watched it, and maybe because I recently watched Avatar and I watched it at 9 a.m. Maybe it's not so much that I'm not a 3-hour movie type of person, but I'm not like a nighttime movie person.
Oh, interesting. Because
the 3-hour Avatar movie was perfectly fine when I watched it at 9 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay, I love that.
I'm really excited for the 3rd and 4th and the 5th one.
Oh, yeah.
But
in 10 years.
Well, actually, it's coming in 2 years.
Oh, nice.
It's coming out in 2 years.
Oh, nice.
It's a two-year cadence.
Oh, I like that cadence.
2-year intervals.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know why it's become a habit, but you know, like I'm usually the first one to leave. You know, so it's like,
but like it's between you and Lauren at this point.
Yeah. Or I'm just an Irish Exeter, and so you go, you fulfill what you need to fulfill, and if it's earlier than everybody else's like limit, then you just excuse yourself. You know.
You see, that's the thing, is like once I'm out, I'm out. There is no limit. I will overstay. I will stay at the party until it closes. You know what I mean? And so I think like rather than just limiting the time that I go out, because I don't feel fully satisfied if I don't make it to the end of the night and then to the afterwards, aka like 선농당 afterwards. So I know myself. I just need to incorporate. I just need to just have the days. You know, not have a dinner every single night of the week. And then the whole meal stuff will help with that, right? Like I think I like will tend to grab dinners with people every single day of the week. But knowing that I have to do 7 meals every week at home.
Mine has gotten pretty bad. Okay, it's not bad.
Right.
But I used to have the do not do anything days like separately on each day. Now it's become an event. Like it's become consecutive days, like a banner.
So you have like entire weeks where you don't do anything?
Like 3 consecutive days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too.
Actually, I like that for you.
Yeah, for me. You need to start slowly. Start slowly.
Exactly. Incorporate.
But yeah, it's helped me to find like new joy and fulfillment in other things. Right? Like previously I would just like feel so like what's another like synonym for flustered? It's not really flustered. It's just more like
activated, overwhelmed. Yeah,
like overwhelmed by like I need to go return to like different like stores that are not in the same mall, go to the different banks, like get gas, get a car. Like I would feel kind of like overwhelmed by all those things.
Right.
But like I feel like joy in doing so now. You know, like I have time to like
just take your time. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Like do all the like reorganize and being present.
Being present and resetting dopamine.
I will check in with you about being present.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. And then also, like I said earlier, I'm going to be checking in on myself with a weekly cadence. And so I think like, yes, the goals are amazing, but then also making sure like I have a plan to achieve all these is also a very big part of it. And so I wrote some things down. Firstly, I think is just to do things imperfectly. I think I have a habit of if I can't do something perfectly, I won't do it at all. And like I think this is my ADHD coming in a little bit, but I'm not going to blame it on that because I have the ability to change it. But yeah, I think just like kind of like maybe taking a less fearful approach and just like doing it, even if it's not going to turn out 100%. Like I said, right? 15% of the time you should be failing just to increase your elasticity in your brain. And so, yeah, I think doing things imperfectly is a big one. Also, trying my best. I think like kind of along the same lines, like if I like kind of give up early, I like won't tend to finish the thing.
Like you do tend to give up early, or if you give up early?
If I give up early, like I just like won't tend to finish the thing, and so like that's not trying my best. So if I can't do things perfectly, I like tend to not try, if that makes sense. And so I think in line with just doing things imperfectly, I also want to try my best.
Yeah. Do you feel like you weren't trying your best?
Yes.
A lot of the times in 2022?
Yes. I think like in a lot of my life.
Yeah.
For a long time, like maybe since college, I haven't been really trying my best. And right, only you know if you're trying your best.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the 4 agreements. I think that's one like I need to like stick with a bit more. And so yeah, I want to try my best. I also think that writing things down is going to be important, right? Like I didn't used to set goals for the past like however many years because I think I was afraid to fail and like put it out there and people know that I failed. And so I don't know, I think writing things down, I want to like kind of get to a point where you were like, yeah, I recognize that I like did not accomplish some things, but then I also recognize that I did. Yeah. And so yeah, want to incorporate that more. And then
this is great.
I think one thing that is in the talks in a lot of like health related communities is like the power of visualization, right? Like they say like when you visualize, your brain can't really tell reality from like what you're imagining. And so like things kind of like tend to like manifest in that way. But actually in the Huberman Lab podcast, he was actually saying that when you visualize failure, that is more powerful than when you visualize success, right? Because as humans, we have kind of like 2
That's crazy.
modes of like motivation. It's like avoiding pain or like pursuing pleasure. And so they say that like if you visualize like what it will be like to, let's say my goal was to run every single morning. If I visualize what, I don't know, like what I'm going to feel like if I do not run, that is more powerful than visualizing like, oh, I ran every single day, you know, because like what, like it'll manifest like physically, emotionally, and all of the above. And so, yeah, they said that foreshadowing failure is way more effective. And I just thought that was so interesting.
That is.
Yeah. And do you do that?
I do that.
Do you do that?
I do that. Yeah. I do that a lot actually. And in many, I'm laughing because I think I do that a lot with my relationships with people. Maybe somebody I don't want to run into. Or like I imagine not having said, like not being the bigger person. Or like I imagine those things of how it's going to play out. And then it helps me to identify what I'm comfortable with and what like I would actually do if it really did happen. Like exes, for example, or even like I said, like with relationships. So it's like people that I maybe don't like want to be so buddy with, but if we happen to be in the same space, like what would I do? Right? What would I say? So that's not like an example of a failure, but right, like it was funny, like I like love Century City, right? Westfield Century City. Yeah, the mall. I haven't run into my ex and it's been many months.
Okay.
And it was funny because then I saw another like mutual friend story, and his group of friends were at the mall, and I think we might have missed each other by maybe like 10 minutes, right? And I just imagine like, and I was by myself, like what would have happened if I like walked into that restaurant by myself and he was with like 10 of his friends, right? Like, I mean, is that what you mean by visualizing? Like, like what would I have said? Would I even have said anything? How would I have felt if I chose to ignore the group of friends? Like, how would that make me feel afterwards? Versus what would I say? Would I regret what I wanted to say? And like how I would choose to interact with that group?
Yeah.
So I tend to do that a lot with like my people relationships, like my personal life and like work scenarios, even like when I prepare like what I want to say to my parents. But also like that workout example is like a good example too, right? Like, because you know, I'm very much in tune with like how I feel or like my energy.
Right.
Right. Like, oh, I feel like I'm getting sick. Like what will make me get sick? I visualize it like, okay, if I'm going to go boxing like 7 times in 5 days, I'm definitely going to be sick. Like I think about all of that like that.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't do that ever. Actually, I think the one area I did that with and like I actually improved on is like, okay, and then like I want to give like a eating warning right here.
Okay.
Is like, right, when I would binge, the next day I would feel like shit emotionally, physically, right? And so I started thinking about like when I had like the urge to binge like late at night, I would think, okay, how am I going to feel if I fail and I give in to the binge in the morning? And so that was the way that I got over it. And so it is very powerful, right? Like, especially even with like other types of food, like they say it only takes one time for you to kind of like cut things out. And so like, for example, I had one bad experience with Panda Express. I don't eat Panda at all ever anymore. And so yeah, I think about like, okay, how shitty am I gonna feel if I eat Panda right now and then I don't eat it? And so yeah. Did you know, or were you conscious of the fact that you do that?
Like I think I do a little too much of that, and that's what makes me not stay too present, because it hasn't happened, you know, like it hasn't happened. But actually on the flip side of that, the last time I had Panda was maybe after like a Monday football practice, but I don't actively like go out and like eat Panda, for example, right? But in the moment, if I was craving Panda, like I would go get it,
even though you know it's gonna wreck your stomach. Yeah,
even if it's like hella calories, hella carbs, like I don't know if it's like, it's, you know, just right, a lot of oils and stuff like that,
right?
Like if that's what's gonna make me happy, health is wealth.
Okay.
And happiness is health.
Yeah. And so
happiness as well.
You bring
like
up,
that's like what I like, that's my like mentality of things. Like my favorite, say like my favorite chocolate is Rolos. So I normally always get Rolos, right? But if I'm at the candy shop and I'm in the mood for a Kit Kat,
right?
Regardless of Rolos being my favorite chocolate, like I will get a Kit Kat.
Right. I think so. I think this brings up a really good point of like, there needs to be balance. And then also like your goal isn't to cut out all sugar, right? And so I think it depends on like the goal. So like maybe like, yeah, being conscious about your goal is also important here.
So 2023.
I'm actually very excited. This is like the first year that I'm like kind of excited for. I think I was like very sad the past like few years.
I feel, yeah, I'm not. Well, I'm validating. Well, when I think about 2020 when we started, right?
Oh, I was so sad.
Like, it was a very different Hannah.
Yeah,
right? It was a very different Hannah.
Yeah.
When did you move out? 2021.
2021.
Yeah, and it's just been, I think, like you finding your own groove, right? Like I think 2020 was a very different year. That I think you may have also hit the other end of the, I don't want to call it a spectrum, but like, you know what I mean? Like the other end of just living. And now you're like finding that balance.
I am. Yeah, right? You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think about 2022. We said it last week, right? It was, what did I give it? A C? A B minus?
I don't remember.
I think I gave it a 7.6.
Oh yeah, you did.
Right? Because I thought 7.7, but I was like, that's a little high.
Yeah, you said 7.6. Yeah.
2023. I'm not like, it'll just be a year, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would be happy with a 7.6 even for 2023. That's a pretty solid number.
Oh no, I want it to be like an 8.
Oh, okay.
But I think 8 because I will be taking care of myself, right? I don't expect any like drastic, like big, like I don't need that in 2023.
Yeah.
I think what I'm looking forward to is just consistency.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you look at if you look at my goals, it's like I want to get a massage every month. Another part of my self-care is like getting my nails done every month. Right? Like I find joy in that.
Yeah.
It's a new, like, I don't want to call it a hobby, but
like
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like meditating, like I'm hoping that will become a daily morning ritual, right? Hopefully the stretches too. Like it's all about consistency.
Okay. Would you like me to keep you accountable?
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about afterwards how so.
Yeah. I mean, our friends get together every month, so maybe like that's when we could talk about
that's
it.
A great,
Which actually, that's what I wanted to ask you too, is like, well, right, like you start off with 7 meals and you like say for the first 3 weeks aren't doing that,
right?
How, like, what are you gonna do about it?
I think like adjust accordingly, because how did I choose the number 7? I went, okay, let's not days. Count the weekends, and so that's 5 days, and then if I'm eating 10 meals,
that's a lot.
It's a lot. And so I was like, okay, like and so I'll adjust accordingly.
Yeah. But how often do you have like lunch like outside? A lot?
You know, it depends. There have literally been times where I'll do 3 lunches outside and then 5 dinners outside
in the same week.
Yeah, like oh my gosh. I just and so D&Ds too. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm so excited. Okay.
Awesome. Wow.
Cool.
Well, happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. Happy Year of the Rabbit.
Yeah. Set those goals if you want.
If you want. And then also if you want, listen to the Huberman Lab. And then also if you want,
follow us.
Yeah. TikTok and Instagram.
But you want to, trust me.
You do. Bulgogi.podcast. Twitter, Bulgogi Podcast. I am on Instagram and all of the socials at HANAKATTT.
Me at BEJULIFID. Yay. 1. Wow, our first one of the year.
Yeah. 2, 3.
How was that?
That was good.
That was a very like alto bass.
Yeah.
Tenor.
Yeah.
Tenor. Yeah. Bye, everybody.